Yeah, hi, I'm Rick Chertoff, co-chair LA Jews for Peace, and we're one of the sponsors to bring Norman here with the film. And so I want to thank everybody for coming. Throughout watching this and spending some time with Norman today, I look back at things that have influenced me, and what brings us, to the present moment of having to, somebody like Norman having to put his life, in essence, on the line, his whole life, in what we think of as such a civilized and democratic country. And when it really comes down to it, confronting an orthodoxy that has torn the Jewish community apart, families apart, and so much of it because of misinformation. And Norman has taken the straight line of academic research to correct that information and give us a straight line to follow. And I've read his books, and I'm indebted to the books and the information and the way he's organized it so thoroughly and so meticulously. And he is truly a great scholar. But I think we're all indebted to the example, because if there's anything that's going to lead us out of the morass that the Israel-Palestine conflict represents, it's going to be somebody with a conscience and the willingness to follow that straight line that the facts dictate. So we're very honored to have Norman here, and here's Rick.
If I could, I want to ask you a couple of questions and then just try to help moderate. It looks like this will be a friendly audience, unlike some of the scenes we saw in the movie. Why is it that a large majority of American Jews who've been so progressive, they were involved in the civil rights movement, they helped to found the ACLU, why is it that they become almost irrational toward Israel? Can you explain that?
I think that's a complicated question which has many aspects to it, and it's... Okay, don't worry. I think that's a complicated question which has many aspects to it. I think there's a certain amount of mystification about how progressive American Jews were during eras like the civil rights movement. The facts don't exactly bear out a lot of the mythology on that score. There's been a very effective propaganda campaign and fear campaign to which most people are vulnerable, so it shouldn't surprise us that Jews would be vulnerable to that kind of propaganda and fear. There's a certain amount of arrogance that comes of success, and Jews have certainly enjoyed a lot of worldly success throughout the Western world, but especially in the United States. And with arrogance comes a certain inability to be criticized and to think that the only reason you're being criticized is because of envy and jealousy because you're so good. So it's many different factors. I think you can't really make global generalizations. I prefer to look at the end rather than at the beginning, which is to say, I think now there is a real opportunity to reach American Jews and Jews in general, because most Jews are liberal. That's a fact. Over 80% of Jews voted for Barack Obama, and even among Latinos, the figure is way less. It was something on the order of 67%. And when you factor in income, Jews being by far and away the wealthiest economic group, ethnic group in the United States, they should be voting overwhelmingly Republican. But they're voting overwhelmingly Democrat. The only ethnic group that voted in larger numbers for Obama was African Americans. And so, being liberal, it's no longer possible to defend Israeli policy. Too much is now known. The historical record, the human rights record, the diplomatic record, and Israeli conduct and policy has become indefensible for those who call themselves liberal, which is most Jews. And so there are real opportunities now, I think, for trying to reach people on a reasonable, sensible, just terms for resolving the conflict. So I don't see grounds for despair. And just as a point of fact, I understand, I've not seen the film, but I understand there are some harsh scenes of conflict between myself and audience members. That rarely happens nowadays.